What's up you guys, and welcome back to another Reddit reading video. Today's video is going to be recorded like a little bit different, so I want you guys to tell me if it's better or worse. Like a lot of people do where they cut out and then paste this thing into their editing software, but I'm using OBS this time, and unlike, ooh, trippy dude, what in the, but unlike using the audio from OBS, I'm going to be using the audio in Audacity. Now, if this just sounds like a bunch of gibberish to you, just skip to the video. But let me know if this video just seems right to you guys. I'm trying to make it the best quality that I can, so I'm doing all these shenanigans together. Alright, now time for some r/MaliciousCompliance, an awesome sub. You all know what is going on here. Today I'm going to try reading 4 stories instead of just 3. And I'm going to read them from most popular to least popular, according to the downvotes. Copy my answers? Have fun with that F. So this just happened today at school, so it's still fresh in my mind. We were in algebra and we were taking a test. The teacher was out of the classroom for a bit and someone asked for the answers. Now, I had secretly hated this kid for almost a year because he had destroyed my $210 phone and only paid me back $20 and said, hopefully this will be enough for the screen protector. So anyways, it turned out that he skipped the question, so he accidentally had about 75% of the answers in the wrong box, making them all wrong. He asked me to erase them for him so he could copy my answers because his arm hurt. I was just about done with mine, so I finished and erased his, but instead of giving him the answers, I turned my paper in. He now has 5 to 10 minutes to answer about 30 questions. The teacher had walked back in while he was pleading with me and asked what was going on. I told him David was trying to copy my answers. No regrets. Edit, getting a lot of comments about how he broke my phone, so here's the story. I tried to keep it brief. We were at a youth group at our church, I'm Catholic, and was scrolling through my photos to show to my friend. I scrolled past one of David looking very less than good. Friend starts laughing and tells me to go back to that picture, so I do, and he starts just dying laughing. A few more people came over to see what was happening, and one of them was David. He sees the picture and just snatches my phone out of my hand and runs to the bathroom. I'm banging on the bathroom door and telling him, give me my phone back. He runs out of the bathroom while I'm screaming at him and holding it in his arm. He then just slams my phone into the ground. The screen was completely shattered and the home button didn't work. Oh look, there's the phone. Screw you, David. Well, that's some pretty good compliance right there. He went all the way with erasing his answers and then giving it back to him. He got some big cojones for that. David pretty much deserved it for freaking out like that and not being able to control his fragile emotions. To be fair though, if it wasn't for my friends, I always had one of my best friends in my math classes. If I didn't have them in there, I would never have passed high school. Shout out to my friends. Next story is ex-wife tells me take handling the kids more seriously. So I did. This is a mix of revenge and malicious compliance. Hopefully this is the right place. Background, kinda long but also important. So I'm happy to voice dad of 2 beautiful kids, a 5-year-old girl and almost a 4-year-old son. My ex and I met at a home state of Illinois. She was a Navy brat, so our family is from Texas. We fell in love very quickly, got married after a year, and was expecting my daughter after 3 months. My son followed almost 4 to 6 months after my daughter was born. A month after he was born, I found out she was cheating on me with at least 5 guys. Later, I found out it was around 8. Obviously, I filed for divorce. I got the lawyer, changed my banking accounts, and presented her the papers. The first copy was rejected for a reason I can't quite remember. Upon revision, I had my lawyer also change the custody from me having the kids to every other weekend to every single weekend. Much to his surprise, she signed it. We shared the kids accordingly. She was super pissed, but there was nothing she could do about it. And when she/I could no longer afford to live in the state, she moved back to Texas. Fast forward 2 years, without seeing the kids, I couldn't afford to see them except one Christmas. I got out of the Navy, moved back home, and I got the kids for 3 months. I was appalled by their development delays. Both kids were rated the bottom 5% of the kids their age. My daughter didn't have a clue about potty training at 3, barely speaking, and had no awareness of adult authority. My son was not even close to walking, non-verbal, wouldn't eat most meats, and was afraid of grass. When I returned them, my daughter would listen to adults, was potty trained, was speaking in almost complete sentences. My son was walking, saying some words/hand signals, and eating a variety of different foods. I worked my butt off to get them there. Also, I spent a lot on 2 times a week therapy for both kiddos. Money well spent. Anyways, I stayed in Illinois for about 1.5 to 2 years, gathering up enough money to move to Texas. I had a little amount saved, but I started dating a girl who I came to find out also wanted to move to Texas. So we pulled our money together and moved down. Almost done with the background, guys. We got moved down to Texas and lived at a hotels for a month. found jobs, found a place, and moved in. I worked in a sales position in a large bulk type store, and my girlfriend works at a sandwich place. At this time, my ex and I are not going by the divorce decree custody days because of convenience. Well, a person ended up quitting the job, and I had to take their hours. So my girlfriend got permission to bring my kids to her work. The GM loves them. Well, they were being toddlers, and she texted mutual friends of my ex and me asking if she could watch the kids for a few hours. That got sent to my ex. My ex and new hubby got pissed, and they came to my work and chewed me out for saying I need to take the kids' well-being more seriously. Roger that, suckers. Now, I realized I messed up that day. I was not mad at what they said. I was pissed at the fact that they did that in front of my trainee, a customer, and coworkers. MaliciousCompliance/revenge. During my setup phase, I was not paying for full child support, which was kind of them, but that ended because I was now taking things more seriously. The next morning, I talked to my boss, told him what had happened, and informed him that I could not work at the time specified on my divorce decree because now that I'm taking things more seriously, I will now have these kids every weekend. He then transferred my ex the remainder of the child support, informed her that she was right and I needed to take things more seriously. So I will be by after work to pick up the kids for my court-appointed custody. She was confused, but agreed. Then I called her on Friday evening to see if she had everything prepared for the weekend stay. Medications for my son. She flipped out, saying that we had plans all day Saturday and church Sunday morning. Then she screamed, "What the F are you making these demands all of a sudden?" Well, I'm just taking the kids and our agreements more seriously. I ended up letting them have the kids Saturday and picked them up Sunday morning. I then informed my ex and hubby that we would need at least a week's notice for any change in plans on weekends in case we had things planned. Generally, if they wanted to do something special with the kids, if we didn't have plans, even the last minute. Since I was taking things more seriously, my girlfriend and I kept every meticulous record of any injury, diaper rash on my daughter from not wiping correctly, physical appearance upon pickup. We would treat said rashes, note any changes in our little black book, and then take a photo of the pages and the timestamp. When they returned, we would then note any worsening of the rash or non-treatment. We also signed the kids up for more therapy since they were still very much behind. This went on a few months until, surprise, my ex had enough and brought me to court, forced the changes she wanted. I presented the judge with everything. The doctor's notes I had from day one, the doctor's notes from my ex with conflicting information. These notes were things that she would tell the state-funded therapist for my son, as well for all the expenses for the therapies I was giving my kids. Then I showed our notes, the printed timestamp of the photos, and then many times any rashes would be present or worsened when we got the kids. My ex broke down into tears since she brought her entire family and several friends for support. The increase of the child support she wanted was shot down, and instead was almost half since I was making less than I was prior. The expenses I had for the kids, and my overall time for the kiddos. The change in sole custody she desperately wanted? Well, the judge ordered it to stay the same, with the change of alternating Sundays. Slightly annoying. Walking out, she asked me through the tears, "How could you do this to me?" To which I replied, I was taking things with the kids seriously. Edit, I have never restricted my ex from the kids. If she wants to have them for whatever reason, and I have no plans, I will let her take them from my time. Edit 2, for all you suckers who are saying I neglected my kids by not seeing them for 2 years, I was in the Navy. I tried to see them, my leave kept getting denied because of my medical BS. I FaceTime them every day. I requested to say goodnight to them whenever I was able to. If you have never been in the military, it is hard to understand how hard it is to get leave. I can attest to that last statement. My wife is in the military and she wanted to take 3 leave days for her birthday. They were like, 1, take it or leave it. She was like, what? When it was her, she was turning 21. This is like last month. She was turning 21 and she was just like, I want to have the day off afterwards because I want to have my first, legal drink. Legally. So yeah, they do have a hard time getting off for leave. That was like, I really thought it was going to be like petty revenge, like during the background and like the beginning of the revenge. It didn't really seem like it was going that far. But when he started documenting all the things about the kids and taking pictures and timestamp, I knew that was going to be some very hard malicious compliance. He took it very, very seriously. But honestly, the wife deserves that. It almost sounded like they were neglecting/abusing the kid to an extent. So bringing all that and noting it up is just like, he should have done that in the first place, but it's good that he got it done. Kids don't deserve that. My thought is like, kids don't deserve, even little kids, if they do bad things, they don't deserve to be treated badly. They don't understand. They're just kids. Alright, that was a long story, so we're going to do 2 more short ones. I said short, but this one says medium. The next one says short. They're both pretty small. That way I don't talk you guys' ear off for 36 hours. No, I'm just kidding. But this r/MaliciousCompliance is a nearly 200 person MC. This took place around 2012-ish. The pride of high school was always marching band. For the reason that the band was a quarter of the nearly 800 students at the school, we had about 185 students of the year when this compliance happened. So every year, the band went on a trip out of state to compete in a Bands of America competition. It was a trip everyone looked forward to. We did a ton of fun things, missed a week of school, and the last day there competed for a professional stadium. The band director would call and schedule things for us so we don't randomly show up at a mall or McDonald's or do something and him throw 200 kids at them. We had called ahead at the mall to work out eating at the food court, and that was the easiest while we were traveling there. He usually planned these in the trips when it was time for the bus driver to rest for a couple hours, and we were allowed to get food and shop in the mall. So we get to this point in our trip and we're given a speech to behave ourselves, and reminded that the consequences if we don't. We go inside and start shopping and eating, and then everyone gets stopped by the mall security. Then, over the intercom system, it was announced for the city high school students to come to the front of the mall area. They said they had a rule that didn't allow kids to be in the mall past 6th, not even with adults. Not even a quarter of us have eaten. No one had caused problems, yet they wanted us out. My band director gets a hold of the person that he planned it with, and they agree if we go in 5 kids to every adult, we can continue as planned. The cheeky grin on the security guard's face said, "There's nearly 200 students. You would need 40 adults, and you only have 7. It's forever burned into my head, as is the drop of the face of my senior. Raised his hand and said, "I am 18, I count as an adult." And then all of us, 18 and up students, stood up and started pulling out IDs. Smug, the security guard checked every ID and gave out wristbands to the adults. We had enough 18-year-olds that we technically didn't need chaperones that came. So they all sat around and watched us 18-year-olds hand out 5 kids. And no harm came to them all. The security guard was very grumpy, and had the adults needed, we would have gotten our food. We got our food. I bought suspenders and a panda hat from the Hot Topic, like I did every band trip. And we placed fairly decently that year. What an absolute terrible rule. Yeah, that is a horrible rule. The mall where I live, I think it's past 7 o'clock. After 7 o'clock, like everyone that's underage has to get out of the mall and they'll check ID cards. They're always looking at me suspiciously, and my wife, because my wife looks like she's like 12. And I have braces, so I look like I'm like 10 sometimes. Not 10, but like 13. Also, I don't really have that much facial hair or anything, so it's just like, I don't look grown, we don't look grown, so they're always evil-eyeing us, and I'm like, get out of our way. That's nice though, I bet they feel like they won the day on that one. Last one is hold my check. Okay, let's cash it instead. And then I'll deposit it to cash. So this was a few years ago. My terrible bank at the time had a policy about check deposits. Over a certain amount, maybe 500, they held them for 24 hours. Well, I got paid on Friday by my check. It was a small employer that didn't offer direct deposit. So every 2 weeks, I went to the bank after work. The tellers were still working, but apparently the processing day was over. So my 24 hours didn't start until Monday, and my money would finally be available Tuesday sometime. This was super frustrating, especially when the rent was due Saturday or Sunday. But the bank's policy allowed them to cash any check for customers as long as they had at least as much in their total accounts, which I did in savings. So this became my routine. Get paid, go to the bank, have them cash my check down to the penny, and then immediately deposit that cash, except for maybe 40 bucks. As you can imagine, this took the teller noticeably longer and simply depositing my check, but hey, policy is policy, right? That sucks. What a terrible bank. Navy, I've been with Navy, was it Navy Federal? That credit union, I think they're really good. But anyways, that's gonna do it for today's videos, you guys. I hope you guys like this r/MaliciousCompliance video. If you have any suggestions of subs or stories that you want me to react to or read over, just let me know down in the comments. I take submissions all the time. Thank you guys for watching this. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Watch some other videos if you want to. I got tons. I hope I see you guys next time, and goodbye, my lovely.